it's taken way too long to get to this point, but obviously a grand jury looked at it and decided murder charges were appropriate. I mean, and that's something. That really is something.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
An officer in Decatur, Alabama, being charged with murder by Republican Morgan County District Attorney. And that is very big news. I don't think that's what I don't know if that's what people were expecting, but that's a really big deal. So there was a murder charge for one, no charges for the other three, although the other three were fired and they are contesting their firing. Even if they are fired, the other three will presumably get another job as a police officer. The cop was smiling in his mugshot, which is really gross.
23-year-old.
23 years old. Alleged murderer at 23. And that's what, that's what police departments do to people. It's not good for the police or the community when they do stuff like this. The grand jury was mostly white, if that's, if that matters, because it is a racially tinged shooting with the killer being white and the victim being black. There's still not the DA is still not releasing body cam footage. He said in his press conference to protect the jury pool, because he doesn't want people's opinions tainted before jury selection. Which I don't, I don't understand that. I think how would seeing evidence before the jury affect your ability to serve on the jury? That seems strange to me. He was also asked, the district attorney, and this was insane during the press conference, one of the questions that he was asked was if this would affect recruitment for police in Decatur. And, imagine that, right? Asking, if you hold your police officers accountable for killing the citizens that they are charged with protecting, would that affect recruitment? That question is not an indictment on the district attorney. That question is an indictment on the culture of policing in this country and an indictment on the people that would apply for a job in the Decatur Police Department. Not an indictment on the district attorney. There is some allegations that, on this radio station, one of the hosts says that he is hearing from sources that the DA is overshooting in order to get a plea deal so that something is on the books, so that he can say he did something. And that sounds that does not sound that doesn't pass my smell test. Republican district attorney in Morgan County, not a very, not a very large black population in Morgan County, not a very large Democratic population in Morgan County. So why would, for what reason would a Republican district attorney want to, quote, get something on the books with this police officer? That doesn't make sense to me. But that's what he says he's saying. That's what people are saying that they're hearing. I think that another option could be that, and this kind of aligns more with the incentives, I think, could be that the district attorney is overshooting, charging with murder, which now whether or not murder is the appropriate charge is one thing, right? But we know how juries in the United States deal with cops, and they're traditionally extremely lenient with cops. And so murder charges are very difficult to land. They're very difficult to land, where, an aggravated manslaughter or something like that is much easier. So even if, aggravated manslaughter might be below the charge. If you charge them with aggravated manslaughter, that'd be a much easier thing. That's a much easier threshold to meet, right? And so my thinking, and I'm not saying that I've heard this from any sources with any knowledge. I haven't. This is just my thinking, but you know, is that it's possible that the district attorney is overshooting so that he doesn't actually have to get anything on the books, so that the guy can just walk scot-free, right? That's possible. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully this district attorney is, actually interested in enforcing the law and in holding, police officers to account. That would be good. That would be a good development. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But
obviously, a grand jury looked at it and decided murder charges were appropriate.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and that's something. That really is something. And so it's taken way too long to get to this point. But I guess pleasantly surprised when I saw that there was going to be some real accountability.
Yeah.
Now, the bond is very low for the accused murderous cop. I believe they set his bond at $30,000, which does seem extremely low for a murder charge. I mean, people with much less crimes than that have much higher bonds than that. So that's interesting. I don't know if that's a favor to one of the, the police looking out for police kind of thing. I don't know. But I just hope to see some justice there. And it's been really inspiring to see the way that community members have united and kept the pressure on local officials to do something.
Yeah.
There's been sustained interracial protest in Decatur for months now. And, people have just really stood strong and spoken up about the need to have real accountability, that you can't just have police officers coming into communities and killing people.
Right.
It's ridiculous. And, it's obscene. And I hope to see real justice take place. I mean, nothing's going to bring that man back, unfortunately. And that's the really sad thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And it's difficult to, it's, and the body cam footage is not out, but there is some home security camera footage that is out. That does not look good for the cops. Doesn't even give the guy a chance to comply with the order. Says police get on the ground, and then you hear just this barrage of shots. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the police. It doesn't look like a good shoot, but you can't see much from the home security camera footage, which is why the body camera footage should be released, and it should be released immediately. And it's also worth noting that, if I want to be charitable, each time that body camera footage is released or not released, it's a different set of people making that decision in each location. But there is a trend that emerges, and the trend that has emerged is that where body camera footage they feel is exculpatory, it's immediately released. And this has been true nationwide, in cases across the country where the cops or the district attorney feels that the body camera footage looks good for the police, it's immediately released. And where it will be more controversial or where it looks bad for the police, they hide it for months and months and years sometimes. And that's not good. I mean, there should just be a policy of frankly, there should be a policy that anytime somebody is arrested, you should be able to, you should be able to see the body camera footage.
Our tax dollars pay for it, last I checked.
Yep. So there we go. That's the update on that. I haven't been following it terribly closely, but if a Morgan County grand jury and a Republican district attorney is charging this guy with murder, it's not like they're like crazy. It's not like they're radical anti-cop people in this situation, right? So
No, not at all. Not at all. And I don't think there are any of those folks really involved. And I think some of the conversations that you hear on right-wing talk radio about it is pretty disgusting. And I'll leave it at that.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.
Which side are you on?